Hey, what's up, guys? Jay Martin here. Hope y'all are good. So, why do they say we are the sum of the five people closest to us? A question I myself had to put deep thought into. It makes sense knowing that, and I'm sure you can relate to this too, but have you ever had a relationship with somebody, intimate or not? It could be just a regular friend, but have you ever noticed picking up the words they've used or picking up certain habits, mannerisms, things of that nature, even the way they think? Sometimes that could also influence you. So, I've collected and compiled a ton of research from individuals that spent decades researching on this topic. So, everything I'm telling you in this video, you're not going to learn from one Google search or class in school, but it's so common sense that it's impossible to argue with. And I'm not saying because I said it, I've taken a lot of these insights and takeaways in lessons and teachings from people who've dedicated their life to finding this stuff out. This is just a regurgitated version of all sources combined. And yeah, just like on this video and all my other content, just allow yourself not to be too cynical. If you think some of these things are practical, then great. If you think they're not, then that's great too. Just take what you think is right for you and hopefully you learn a thing or two. So, one of the strongest needs within the human personality is to make certain that our behavior is consistent with our identity, even if the identity we hold for ourselves is negative. What do I mean? Well, there's a very big difference between feeling stupid, acting stupid, and knowing that you're stupid. Now, that all may sound like a subtle change, but that makes a huge impact on how you live your life. We all feel stupid at times. We all do stupid things at times. But if you make the jump from feeling or doing something stupid to believing that you are stupid, that belief in who you are will color every single behavior you're involved with for the rest of your life. It defines you and it limits you. And it isn't limited to something like whether or not we think we're smart or stupid. Well, maybe if you put it in an area like, I'm a procrastinator. See, it's different to have been a person that's procrastinated at times or to procrastinate in the moment than to know you're a procrastinator. Once you decide that's who you are, that behavior will be consistent. So, whatever people have their identity attached to, they live. We live who we believe we are. That's just how it works, because if you don't know who you are, you don't know how to act. Once you lock into that identity, your brain finds a way to keep you there. So, where I'm getting at right now is that you've got to be very careful with the labels that you create for yourself or allow others to give you, because they begin to define your experience. They begin to change what you notice about yourself, what you're willing to try, what you're not willing to try. So, now let's get into the more nitty gritty while you're actually watching this video. Let's talk about the importance of your environment, but more specifically, the importance of positive peer group. We know who you spend your time with is who you become. And let's get into more depth in that. Let's talk about what it does to your brain. And it's not more than just a positive thinking affirmation quote. Literally, you have something called mirror neurons, and your mirror neurons and your nervous system is when you watch a movie or a sport, something on like TV or Netflix, and you feel what they feel, or you have empathy for other people, and we're always imitating other people, right? And so who you spend time with is who you become, because you're imitating their habits, their behaviors, their thought patterns, and everything. And that's why they say you're the average of the five people you spend most time with, right? If you're around nine broke people, you're going to be the 10th. And you hear these things all the time. But it's not just your biological networks or your neurological networks. Analyze your social networks, because whether or not you smoke has less to do with your neurological networks or your brain, but more to do with your social networks and the people around you. That has shown to have more influence on you, so that's the power of your environment. As Dan Pena says, show me your friends and I'll show you your future. As a species, we want to belong. We're supposed to have a tribe. Who's in your tribe? That's going to determine how you're going to be acting. So now let's move on to the next segment. And let's be honest here. If you've been on planet Earth for more than 10 or 15 years, you are highly and acutely aware of the fact that most people do not have your best interests at heart. If you talk to an evolutionary psychologist, there's a number. It's 150. We're optimized to have 150 friends, family, relatives, acquaintances, and close friends that will have our backs. That's it. Now, they're spread out because we live in a world of mass transport. People spread all over the world. But it's your job in life to find about 150 people. It's a famous number. You can Google it. It's a famous sociologist that came up with that number. And it's about 150 is what your brain is optimized for. And the reason is you can keep track of 150 relationships and each of their relationships to the other 150 people. So it's actually your brain tracking 10,000 combinations. But I won't digress into the more advanced stuff. I'm just trying to give it to you you know, no school will tell you this. No professor will tell you this. For the most part, no religious person will tell you this. But if at the end of your life you go, I have a good life, I mean, you won. But, anyways, when it comes to the power of association in friends, the importance is to know that if you've got good friends that have the same goals as you, keep them. But if they don't have the same goals as you, then what's the point? If you don't share the same mission, unless they're great people, and by great people, I mean positive, then do what makes sense to you. On the other hand, if they're toxic and they're inherently energy vampires, then yeah, you should probably say goodbye to them. Because it's like trudging through muck. And whether you want to admit it or not, they're slowing you down. But surrounding yourself with people who act in a way that's going to get you to the goals that you need to get to is like, that's it. Like by now, you should believe that you're the average of the five people you spend your most time to. Like, how can you not be? You're going to feel good about yourself because they're going to praise you for things like praising you for working your ass off or admitting your mistakes. And that turns you into one type of person. But on the other side of the spectrum, you're also going to be praised for downing that bottle of alcohol or smoking that J or playing an extra hour of video games. Like, there's no moral judgment on all those types of people. All of them, to the eyes of the beholder, are good people. It's just what type of energy do you want to be surrounded by? Both stuff are rad. We are social creatures, man. And you want to please and inspire the people you are around. So change your circle. It will change everything about your life. So let me bring up another quote from Dan Pena, but you're never going to achieve anything than your highest aspiration. And here's something Tony Robbins says, and I find it so true in my own life as well, but Tony puts it perfectly. He says most people rise to the expectations of their peer group. You know, there's a study and they found that most veterans in certain military, they find that the time they came back, a lot of them deal with PTSD and stress and depression and all kinds of issues like that, finding that the strongest point in their life or their career was actually when they were in service. And it's because they felt a sense of purpose, a sense of camaraderie, a sense of standards, and they come back to civilian life and they just show up. There's no standards, there's no integrity, there's no value system, there's no strengthening exercise. So I think that's totally reinforcing how powerful it is of our environment and associations. So my last and final message to you coming as a friend here, you can get life momentum and in different levels of life collaborations do begin to happen. I think when we change our values, when we shift our identities, we start attracting things in our life that's being brought to you for a purpose. Call it grace, call it energy, maybe it's the luck. Even how you ended up clicking on this video, right? It's not some secret society, but we're connected with some very similar people, and it's what makes life so remarkable. And getting off the ground when you come from a place of have not is a very difficult place. But there is hope when you get it going because of the collaborations and meetings and different little organizations. You will meet people that will afford you progress in your life too. So the two important things to do that, in my opinion, number one, surround yourself with positive people. I didn't say rich people, but people who are positive, who are optimistic, who want to achieve in life. Surround yourself with them because it's contagious. And the second thing is, above all else, you must always believe in yourself. What you think about is what you bring about. Because sometimes and often, you're gonna face situations in life when no one is going to believe in you. And if you allow people's lack in belief in you to dissuade you from believing yourself, you can accomplish. So whoever is watching this, if you have a friend, you should be holding your friend accountable. And they should be holding you accountable to the thing that's holding you back. You gotta have some tough love with your friends and say, hey, I'm gonna hold you accountable on this thing because I can add a skill set to this. And you hold me accountable to this thing, the thing I need help with. You gotta have a game plan and schedule it every single day. Whatever you gotta do to help you grow. Otherwise, we're not gonna do it unless there's skin in the game, there's accountability, and an investment. Alright, so if you made it to the end of the video, I see you, I appreciate you, and I hope you give this video a like and subscribe. Please let me know how I can serve you. I'd always love to know. But till then, I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. Peace and love.